Respected Chairperson Dr. Birbhadraya ji and Dr. Prabhu Kumar ji, both have been the stalwarts of extension science for a long time and have been in their own way, you can say, guide and philosopher for the youngsters. And very fortunately, in this session itself, we have got Dr. P. Das ji, who has been, by all means, I think, longest serving DDG extension at ICR headquarters, and is still in the, you can say, race to compete anyone in the extension science. So that is the ability he possesses. And we are also fortunate that DDG extension, Dr. U.S. Gautam ji, who is also President of the Society, he is here. And Dr. Iswarappa, one more stalwart. And all those dignitaries who are here, many of the directors of Ataris, I find Dr. R.K. Singh, ADG Extension, Dr. Anjani Kumar, Atari Director, Dr. Sudhanshu Singh, Dr. Santanu Radhar, Dr. Adhikari ji, and many more. Dr. Raya, you can also see, and many of my own colleagues and friends who have been associated with me for a longer time in the extension system. Everybody is here. So I'm really feeling proud to be here, and one of the reasons to come was to meet all of you. That was the, I think, biggest interest I had coming over here, having some engagement at our university. Now slides have come up. Next slide, please. Now, I will change. So agriculture sector has all the reasons to smile because its contributions has been huge. We come to know that it has been contributing about 4.6% of growth for the last 6 years. It's quite encouraging agriculture sector. 18.6% to the gross value added product in the country, and also engaging more than 45.6% people in agriculture. So it's a big hallmark of the entire sector, how much you can say community is associated and engaged in agriculture. And also on food grain sector, all the time we are producing record with 330 million tons expected. Sufficiency in almost all the products except edible oils, and in which we have been working. We know that our population is quite huge. It's increasing day by day, but there are certain good signs also, and that more of the population is youth in nature. And many people reside in the villages. That's also a good thing for, you can say, for this sector. Agriculture has otherwise also made a lot of strides, but somehow in the sector of entrepreneurship and HRD, much has not been done, though we claim a lot. And this is one sector where we have to focus, and we have come to a level where the facilities like incubation, entrepreneurship, facilitation, all that becomes more available to those who are willing for it. Now there are two concepts. One is the HRD and entrepreneurship, and how we can link both of them. Once we talk about the HRD, mostly we talk about the skills, knowledge, and ability to perform in various conditions. And when we talk about the HRD, again, its role is that how all those which is required for a person to run an enterprise, run an entrepreneurial unit, how he can get all those through HRD programs and others. So both I can say, if entrepreneurship has to happen, HRD has to be a very strong pillar in the entire agriculture sector. Now coming to entrepreneurship, you will find that it's a multi-dimensional one, and focus is basically on identification of maybe the enterprises, creation of infrastructure and facilities, exploitation of opportunities to develop innovative products, services, or ventures. That is how we have been looking for, and India basically looks into on the perspective of having the opportunities and the risk-bearing abilities which can be inculcated, the innovations and value creation. That is what we assume when we talk about the entrepreneurship. And HRD, I said in the beginning also, HRD is basically trying to focus on skills, capabilities, attitudes of the individuals, and also of the organizations and societies. The major focus looking into the Indian context is basically on improving the employability and productivity of various products and individuals. That is what we have been talking about. These two things are very much important for us. These areas are very core as of now, once we talk about the HRD and entrepreneurship. One is the IT sector and software. This is, you can say, very quickly entering into the entire sector, whether it is core agriculture sector or other sectors or related sectors, it is reaching there. E-commerce is another one. Technology startup is another one on which focus everyone is trying to give and change the entire scenario of entrepreneurship. Then financial technologies, you know, many interventions have come up, and the kinds of services which are there for payment and other, they have revolutionized everything. Renewable energy is another one. And of course, social enterprises, that is another one, including the environmental challenges. And these areas say that how we have to move ahead in the years to come. This is another slide taken from Mr. Bhattacharya and Mukherjee, what they analyze, that what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats to the Indian agriculture. And you find that all those lists which are very, very important, indicating our strengths and weaknesses, but I will try to focus more on the opportunities, and opportunities which indicate is the youth are now techno, you can say, savvy, and they are trying to have a kind of environment in which modern farming can be taken up. Agri-business enterprises are on increase, maybe not at the faster pace, but still there is an environment for them. Export opportunities have also come up for various products which are indigenously grown. Earlier, we used to talk about only one kind of product, but what is being grown in case of rice itself, only basmati used to be exported. But now even indigenous rice varieties, worldwide people are liking that this might be having different kinds of trades which are required elsewhere. And increasing demand for value-added products, which is still very low in our country. So this is one opportunity on which we have been talking about. At the same time, there are some threats. Population is increasing every year, 5 crore roughly estimated. And also there is what we find that the youth is losing interest in agriculture. That's also a key one on which we have to look into. And then we are losing land also, agricultural land, because all urbanization is happening on the cost of some initiatives already made through PMKVY, ARYA project of ICR itself. KVK is doing certain kind of HRD and entrepreneurship at their own level. And of course, ASCI is there, which is dealing with the agriculture sector. Now, once we talk about what are key features of, you can say, entrepreneurship, agripreneurship, so there are many things. It's not only the subject matter. The problem with our approach is that our focus has been always on the subject matter, not other related aspects which are required for entrepreneurship. And we are losing, you can say, the productivity, you can say, gains, which could be if we had that kind of labor laws, people are not aware of, those who are even running enterprises. Corporate laws, IPRs, all these are very crucial. Sometimes it is not working. Then company registration, how you can get your own company registered. We have seen in the case of FPOs also, our own experiences, 120 plus FPOs being run by KB. So registration becomes a very difficult task. People are not aware where and how to get it done. Then audit and accounting, again a very important aspect. Taxation is another one. Then business planning, marketing and sell, supply chain management. These are the core requirements once we are talking about, and you will find all these are different from the subject matter on which we are dealing. Basically, our own system talks about growing certain crops, certain commodities, but not other aspects which are related to it. Then financial management, risk management, technological innovations. These are very, very key, you can say, skills one person should have. And if he is having all these skills, he can excel in that. And unfortunate part is there are very few institutions who are imparting HRD in an integrated manner. So focus always remains on subject matter, but not on all aspects which are required around. Sustainable farming practices, as of now, there is a booming, you can say, market for it, whether it is organic agriculture, climate resilient agriculture. So this is one area where there has to be a kind of sensitization, awareness and learning. Then market research and analysis, very, very key for any kind of success once we talk about the enterprises and entrepreneurial activity. Funding and investment, it requires skills, how to get it from someone, how to, you can say, operate all those fundings which you are receiving. Then networking and collaboration also very, individuals who are doing it on a small scale in MSME and others, they find it very difficult to establish connection with market, to the resource institutions, to the public organizations, and they are stuck somewhere and they don't get the success. Quality control and assurance. Now people want that from where this, you are telling that it's organic product or something else, have you got its certification? Have you got that kind of standards which you are promising to be? Export and international trade, another opportunity once we talk about this one. Then farm level risk assessment. If something happens, what kind of contingency plan has to come up? In between also, if some corrections are to be made, how the risk can be mitigated. And sustainable value development, this is what has been a worrying system, you can say, occurrence in our own system, how that can be overcome. Next, please. This I am especially mentioning that in my one slide also I mentioned that how the software is going to be very, very important, AI, IoT, what we have been talking, how they are going to intervene in the entire, you can say, HRD and entrepreneurship sector. Next, please. Now you can see that STPI itself, they are entering into agriculture sector with precision agriculture and other interventions, how it can be done. Many of the institutions have come forward to establish precision farming models and systems. I find many entrepreneurs also, some innovative youth also, they are coming forward and trying to establish how I can operate my own farm sitting somewhere else. So those models will be fast a kind of reality in the Indian agriculture, and STPI is trying to negotiate with technology institutions like us that they can establish their own centers, they can establish networks, and they can put all these science which is modern in nature. There are certain initiatives by Government of India. Government of India has taken up, you can say, Startup India program in which innovations are supported. Then Stand Up India for the SCSP, SC commodity and other women and others which are weaker sections, how they can be supported. And certain dedicated funds have been made for all those. Then there is one Samriddhi scheme, and this is again IoT based, MIT is running. And they are working on a new IT-based startups and concept, and some support financial is also coming up. Aspire is another scheme for innovations, rural industries and entrepreneurship. And again, there is a support for encouraging innovations. Then Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, again for MSME, is small, you can say enterprises, somebody is willing to establish, some support is there. Then Chunauti scheme, challenge scheme, a kind of new idea is somebody is bringing. So how that new idea can be supported by the government of India, that can take up shape at the national level. Drone Shakti recently done, and you will find that some jobs are getting created in terms of its operation, even development, maintenance, and development of all protocols which are required. Then Atal Innovation Mission, another one is started by Niti Aayog, and they have come with the tinkering labs and also 10,000 such units across the country. So there is a greater realization that the coming era belonging to incubations, innovations, and startup. And if we continue to focus on these three, we can modernize agriculture. Many times we say that agriculture is not attracting youth. The kind of operations, the way operations are being taken up in the field, how it can be modernized, only then we can attract the youth. And there are many other startup schemes which have been started by the government of India. I will not read each one because I am given some limited time. Key challenges for human resource development. One is the limited access to quality education and training. I emphasized in my previous slide also. Skill gap and technology adoption. This is how we can also mention belonging to the fraternity which deals with the technology application and adoption. And there are many regions of it. And one has to be having skills to identify those gaps and fill those gaps. Access to finance and capital, limited market linkages, and climate change and environmental factors. Everybody talks about nowadays, so it requires special skills, and interventions have to be made by institutions and all those who are related to it. Key opportunities are there for entrepreneurship, education, and skill development. My time is already over, as per my watch. So I will not go into detail. So these are again, okay, sir. Factors and mechanisms through which human resource development influences. One is skill development, access to information, networking and collaboration. These are also very, very important one. Then access to finance, market linkages, technological adoption. I will just go through the slides. Entrepreneurial mindset and motivation. This also have to have the part of this whole, you can say, program. Capacity building for innovation, business planning and management. What happened? Start, please. Slides. Go ahead. Go ahead, please. Now, these are certain research agendas. Since many extension scientists are there, they can take it up. One is long-term impact assessment that we lack in terms of HRD and entrepreneurship, gender dynamics and women entrepreneurship, technology adoption and digital transformation. We speak, but there is not much database. Next. Impact of policy reforms, role of social entrepreneurship, cross-sectoral collaborations. If we can bring certain cases, people will be benefited by this. Rural-urban linkages, sustainable agriculture practices, evaluation of support mechanisms, next, and comparative analysis. So all this may be part of the research studies which scholars might be interested to take it up. Next. If you look into the current scenario of entrepreneurship in agriculture sector, the findings say that 1% increase in entrepreneurial activities decreases the poverty by 2%. And micro enterprises are many. 630 lakhs estimated enterprises accounts for around 97% of the total employment in the MSME sector. This is not valued, but this is one sector on which many thrive for their employment and incomes. And according to the fifth economic census, 41.383 million establishments in the country are engaged in various economic activities. So this is the probably biggest sector, and how it can get support through HRD and entrepreneurship. Probably the success of India lies in this sector. Next. These are some initiatives by ICR through its own institutions having, you can say, incubation facility, but very few incubators are coming out of those incubation centers. Has to be a little bit more facilitation. Next. Startups in millet is a new kind of revolution. More than 500 startups already have come up, and many more are coming. This is one crop in which value addition is more important than other aspects. Once this sector is going on that line and putting its efforts, probably more startups you will find, more consumers you will find, and more acceptance and more, you can say, profit out of it. Two slides are jumping together. Now, this one slide I wanted to show, there is a future job survey by World Economic Forum. And where the jobs are there and what kind of skills are required. You will find that the critical thinking analysis skill requirement is increasing all the time. Problem solving, if somebody bringing some solution, he will be in demand. Self-management, if a person can make, he will be more in demand. Working with people, that is also very, very important for any person who is engaged. That is also increasing. Management and communication skills, that is going to be very important. Technology use and development, this again are the newer skills. These 3, 4, 5 are the newer skills which are increasing in demand. Core literacies, core content knowledge and physical abilities, they are stable in nature. That is not much fluctuation, not much demand. But the other traits are increasing in any individual, which is required in the years to come. And most of these skills you will find, they are based on AIs and others. There was a list of 10 items, and out of 10, probably 7, 8 are related to information technology, IoT, blockchain, and others in all sectors. So these are certain conclusions based on my whatever review I made before coming here. One is that there has to be strengthening of collaborations. Targeted interventions in terms of mentorships, financial support to the agriculture sectors are very much important. Enhancing access to finance, still a very difficult task, though there are many schemes, banks, but taking loans and making it happening in a way we desire or an individual desires, that is a difficult issue. Infrastructure development, some headway is being made, but still a long way to go. Empowerment of human entrepreneurs, still very few are there, and they are probably one who can be brought into the mainstream. Then this slide is very important, innovations and technology adoption. I think this will drive the entire scenario in the years to come. That how, and once you start working with the younger lot, you will find they are thinking differently. One day, one student graduated from my university and he came to me while saying goodbye. He said that, sir, I asked him that what you are going to do in future. So he said that I will not continue studies now. Having done through all India test, coming to the university, passing with good grades, then he is telling that I am not going to, but I will pursue certain entrepreneurship. Because he could incubate something, he learned something on at campus 3-4 years, and he developed certain products also. So I think these innovations are very much important in years to come. We can think one or two types of products, but once you start talking with the students, you will find that they have got hundreds of ideas that what kind of products can be innovated. And they can be made of the locally available products also. So that is going to play a crucial role, these innovations and technology adoption. Then policy reforms, government is trying, but I hope that, and many state governments are also coming forward. Schemes which are suitable for entrepreneurs, a scheme in which easy lendings are available, and also some period is given, gestation period, you have not to pay immediately. So that kind of support is coming from the state governments. Then also, which is going to be very crucial, tomorrow people will be asking that how much water you have used for producing this product. Whether all those safeguards you have followed in terms of pesticides use, even disposal of those dangerous products which you are using in the agriculture sector. So we will be required to declare once you are producing all these products. So quality aspects in terms of product, and also in terms of use of resources, and also the disposal of all those, you can say, bad products which are also being used chemically and pesticides under. So agricultural scenario, because we deal with the food system, not only agriculture as such, but the entire food system. Once we start considering food system, we'll find that our approach is altogether different for incubation, for innovation, and also entrepreneurship. And largely HRD should try to focus inculcating all these aspects, which are being talked not in our country, but otherwise also. Everywhere, it's regenerative agriculture is not in our place only, that somebody start talking about natural farming. But world over, in Europe, America, everywhere people are liking that something which is used naturally. So that's the demand of the consumers, and we have to look into all those aspects. So probably this will be the last one. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to the organizers, especially the team which is here in Bengaluru, Dr. Ishwarappa, and Dr. Veerbhadaiah, Dr. Prabhu Kumar, and all, and also the Honorable Vice Chancellor, and more importantly, DDG Extension and his all colleagues who have been able to, society colleagues, who have been able to organize this one. Thank you very much for making me part of this. Thank you so much.